Hi, my name is Nick with Machine Gun Dad. Welcome back to the channel. Today in another episode of our field strip series, we have ourselves a Beretta Cougar 8045. So, let's go ahead and get into taking it apart. Now that we've moved in close, we can get into the first step of field stripping any firearm you ever touch, because I have beat it into everybody's skulls numerous occasions. You always pop the magazine out, pull the slide to the rear, or the bolt, or whatever have you, to show clear on every firearm, because you do not want to be that one unlucky son of a gun who ends up trying to clean a gun and accidentally puts a round into their knee. So, from here, we're going to be taking the slide, pushing it to the rear, and engaging the slide lock. And on the other side of the gun, there's a button, go figure, on this side that you are going to push in at the same time as pushing this lever down. Same thing as a Beretta 92, same basic principle, but this one only moves 45 degrees as opposed to the 90 degrees that a Beretta 92 will. So by pushing that button in and pulling that lever down, if you see it at 45 and think that's wrong and it's not going to come together, don't try and force it more. That is where it needs to be. So from there, disengage the slide lock, let it ride forward. Now do not take the top end of it off, do not take the slide off on the upward position, because you will have some stuff falling out. What you can do is flip it upside down and then pull it off. Now you have your frame on the bottom and your slide right here. This is what I'm talking about falling out. If you were to open it up regularly, you would open up and this piece would just drop free. And if you're doing it on like carpet or dirt or what have you, you don't want any extra bits getting into your gun. So we're just going to very easily lift up, and that whole piece comes out, and this comes out the back end. And then with your barrel, you rotate it off to the side, and the whole thing will pick up and out the back end. And there is your fully field stripped Cougar 8045. Let's go back ahead and get into reassembly. Really quick, before we get into full reassembly, I want to make note of something. So, we are going to take the barrel, put it back in, tilt the barrel forward, run it through the front end of the slide, and then make sure to rotate it so that this locking lug here, you can see it on the side. That's the way you know it is in battery. And have this slit, this guide, pointing vertically to make it easier for reassembly. Now onto that point I was trying to make. This piece here with the guide rod, there is a possibility of putting this together incorrectly. So I want to make a note of that. The correct way of doing it is having this flat spot facing towards the front end of the gun and not this skinny tab. You do not want this facing towards the front end. You want your flat spot. As well as this, you will notice that there is a slanted cut here while being flat on this end. Whereas on the back end here, there is a wall here and no wall here. You want to make sure that the flat spot is facing towards the front and the spot that has a single wall is facing towards the rear. Now let me show you what happens when you do that incorrectly. So I'm going to place this in backwards, and I'm going to run the spring through the wrong way. You can get it mostly reassembled while doing this, but as you will notice, whenever I get it all the way together, I cannot pull the slide far enough back to engage the slide lock. So if you're having issues and you cannot get it pulled the whole way to the rear to do reassembly, you probably put that piece together wrong. So we're just going to pull that off. And again, you want the flat spot of the recoil spring facing towards the front And you want this angled flat spot facing towards the front as well. Otherwise you will have the issue I just showed you. There is this notch on the bottom end. Line that up with the groove cut into the barrel. Run your guide rod forward. Keep your finger on the barrel to keep it back, because if you allow it to ride forward out of the slide, it will not go into battery correctly. Then you're going to take the frame, line these guides up, and run it forward into the gun until it is back together the way it is whenever the slide is forward and locked. Then you're going to take the slide, push it to the rear, engage the slide lock, and that button from the beginning, you're going to press that in, and while also keeping this lever down, you are going to engage it and slap that forward. So now it is perpendicular with the frame itself. Now it is fully assembled, ready to rock and roll. Let's go ahead and zoom out, and I will get this outro done. Thank you for coming to another episode of our Field Strip series on this lovely piece, the Beretta Cougar 8045. This was a fun little thing to learn how to take apart. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Rumble. I hope you all have a good one.